My name is Caroline Coon. I'm an artist, and it's a great pleasure and huge pride for me to have my painting, Pauline Boty, Grand Passion, which I painted in 1992, included in this exhibition. At the time I painted Grand Passion, the women's liberation movement was very interested in how to prevent rape. And so my Grand Passion is talking to Pauline Boty and expressing how she perhaps would have challenged violence against women and children. I put her in the costume that Lorenzo Lotto put in his portrait of a lady as Lucretia, which he painted in 1533, and it's all on canvas. It's almost the same dimension as the one of Pauline Boty. The Lorenzo Lotto painting, it's a dark portrait, and Lotto paints a lady who in her left hand holds a drawing of the Roman heroine Lucretia about to stab herself. Lucretia was a legendary model of Roman womanly virtue. Lucretia was raped. Then, to protect her family from her shame, she killed herself. Her suicide is a lesson that unchaste women, raped or not, do not deserve to live. Rejecting this cruel horror story, I paint Pauline Boty as an artist in possession of her own sexuality and bodily autonomy. Boty celebrated female sexual desire outside marriage, which was considered shocking in the 1960s. What I think is a marvel about this exhibition is that it's showing a community of artists. In that era, before feminist curation brought women back into the canon, in their lifetime, the artists were painting shoulder to shoulder. Once they had died, or once exhibitions and curators looked at their husbands or their partners, usually male, the women would be set aside, ignored, forgotten. And in fact, Pauline Boty's paintings, when she died, almost were put on a tip. And her sister-in-law rescued Pauline Boty's paintings. And then they languished in her brother's garage, mouldering away, until David Mellor, the curator, wonderful historian, rescued them for a pop art exhibition he had in the Barbican. And it was the first time that you could see the women artists with men artists who were their colleagues and who saw each other, looked at each other, discussed each other's work, if they were lucky. And if they didn't have a husband who was going to be absolutely brutal, that was a possibility. So it's, to me, the importance of this exhibition is to put women back where they were when they were making art themselves, looking at each other, looking at their colleagues, on their lovers. And I think for a new generation that are coming along that wouldn't have known this interaction between the artists, this is not only aesthetically beautiful, this exhibition, it's also educational. The reason why I put Boty surrounded by sunshine and in the open air with the infinity of the sea is because women's lives, on the whole, have been so constrained. Pauline Boty had to fight to be an artist. Parents didn't want her to be an artist. She had trouble with her younger brothers who were treating her as a completely separate, inferior person. To get into art school, she was not allowed to be in the fine art department because at that time women were so second-rate they couldn't actually be artists. But if you want to dabble in the creative arts, you might as well go to stained glass. You know, that's a craft really. But she made beautiful stained glass, in fact. And so that idea of the beach, pleasure, liberation, stepping out into the world, is what, as a woman of my generation, being at art school in the 60s, has really fought for. And very luckily, we've got a younger generation who are coming up who are quite used to working side by side women. That has been put on me, and that makes me laugh because if once you have icons, you have iconography, and you can destroy icons too. So it's not a particularly comfortable position to be in. On the other hand, all you can do really is live your life. I'm always fascinated about how other artists have lived their lives. And if I've survived as an artist, it's by learning how other artists managed to survive, whether their art was being appreciated or not.